If you're thinking about buying a new construction home in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, well, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to dive into the top 12 biggest Dallas home builders that are building all throughout the DFW area. These are going to be the new construction builders with the largest presence, not necessarily the ones that are maybe the most popular or the ones that have the highest quality build, because we do know that a lot of people are going to have some very strong opinions about that. So, whether you are looking for luxury or affordability, or maybe something in between, we have got you covered. We're going to look at what makes these builders stand out. We're going to look at their strengths, their weaknesses, and some things that you may want to consider when purchasing your next home. Now, I know that there are dozens and dozens of builders here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and it can get overwhelming trying to figure out which direction to go. So let's start by narrowing down the top 12 biggest builders before we dive into the next series of some of our more favorite builders that we have here in Dallas. So let's jump in. So, the first builder that I want to talk about, which is the largest builder here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, is going to be D.R. Horton Homes. They built their first home back in 1978 and have now built over 1 million homes all throughout the entire U.S. So, since 2002, more people have chosen a D.R. Horton home over any other builder. So, not only is it the largest home builder in the U.S., it is for sure a pretty dominant force here in Dallas, Texas. So, when you do pull up the map, as you can see here on their website, you're going to find that we have 99 communities that are listed. From their website, that does include some of the communities that are closing out or in final stages of sales, and even quite a few that are coming soon within the next year. So, of course, some are going to drop off, some are going to be added, but still, all of these communities are at some point in production or working on some form of new construction opportunities that will be coming soon. And that is, of course, as you can see, 99 different communities, not the number of houses that are offered. Because as you can see right here, over 470 new homes are currently available here in Dallas. And that's actually just what they have listed on their website. Sometimes you can find some in MLS. And when you do go into a sales office, those numbers can even be a little bit different because those sales agents are going to know which ones are getting ready to come on the market. Or then again, maybe some even sold and got under contract over the weekend. So because as you can see of how spread out the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is, this map stretches from up here in the Denison, Sherman area over here to Bonham. And then we go down here to Greenville, all the way out here to Canton, all the way down here to Corsicana. We have Ennis over here, down over to Cleburne, Granbury, west of Fort Worth, and then even northwest of Fort Worth up here into Decatur. So and these are obviously just to name of the few cities that we have here. Because if you're not familiar with our Metroplex, a lot of these cities, the ones that are out in the outskirts of town, I would pretty much consider those to be what we'll call out in the boonies. But maybe some of you, that's what you're looking for. You're looking to trade big city life for more of a quiet country living atmosphere. And there is definitely affordable new construction options all the way out, even in the countryside. So what we may consider to be small towns are actually continuing to grow all the way spread out all throughout the DFW area. So this is just and honestly, this is just from the first builder that I am getting to today here in this video. So what D.R. Horton really is known for is having affordability and their mass market appeal. I mean, 99 communities just in one metro. It is a great home for the first-time home buyers and more of those budget-conscious buyers. And if you're still looking at something more affordable, but maybe you want to be more on the inside of the Metroplex, you don't want to be all the way out into the country, they do have a lot more of these affordable options, but you're going to find them more on the Fort Worth side of things. So you're going to get more on the Fort Worth if you're wanting to have more of like that city feel, but you're going to need to be more over on the west side. Now, as we are talking about pricing, of course, it's all about affordability with D.R. Horton. And when we kind of come over here, as you can see here on the map, and I'm going to go through and sort it by price lowest to highest so that you can see. Now, prices are starting literally right at around $200,000. That could be from about a 2 to 4 bedroom home, 2.5 bath, single car garage, and a 2-story. But they're going to be pretty tiny, just over 1,100 square feet to about 1,550 square feet. So just this cute little house that they've put the siding on. You're not going to find the stone and the brick on these very entry level homes, but it's almost going to give you sort of that townhouse feel with a single car garage. And you're just not going to have to be sharing the walls with both of your neighbors. You're going to have your own individual house. So that's a little bit of a bonus for that. And then I'm going to go change this, and we're going to go price high to low. Now, this is a little bit of a one-off with D.R. Horton because out of 99 communities, we just have one of these. And this is called Northside Place that has just barely opened up. And the prices are starting in the mid $800,000 range in the city of Carrollton, which is right over here. So I'm going to click on this because, again, this is definitely something that is different compared to the majority of their homes. Now, the architecture is definitely a little bit different. It's a little classier, more of an upgraded opportunity here in Northside. It, like I said, a very small boutique community, but much larger homes starting at almost 2,900 square feet with 4 to 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, and a 2-car garage. So you are getting a lot more, but you are paying more of that premium price. They're having to upgrade their opportunities a little bit because, of course, the location of this particular community right here. So when I go back and sorry, I'm going to go back here for a second. Oh, just going to keep me here. All right, so I'm going to go back here, and like I said, so I am sorting high to low with this one. We have it's listing quite a few new construction communities that are coming in. But when we kind of go through, as you'll see, really the bread and butter of D.R. Horton is going to be those homes in the $300,000 to $400,000 range. So there are so many options in that opportunity, and it just really, you're just going to have to figure out which part of the Metroplex is going to be the right fit for you. So most D.R. Horton homes now are built with their energy saving features as well. And their homes are also built with their smart home technology because everything is going to be included and you can control it all right from the app on your phone. So they're really keeping up with the times, even though maybe their homes are still fairly entry level. They are keeping up with the standards of more energy conscious and technology conscious opportunities within their homes. Now, we do kind of need to get into some of the cons because, of course, with an entry level home, there's going to be a lot less opportunity for, we'll call it, their customizations compared to more of those big boutique more of the big boutique builders that we have around town. They do go in and make the design choices for you, kind of configure the layouts so that really when they have 7 or 8 of them on the market, you go in and kind of pick the one that you like the most. But you're not going to see tons of variation because there's only so many variations of brick that they have out there, but you will have a little bit. And even on the inside of on the interior of the home, you're going to have some slight variations as well. Of course, they're all going to be pretty standard, basic, clean, kind of go with everything type of features, but your flooring is going to be a little bit different. Maybe the carpet's a slight different shade. Your cabinets might be a different color, but you're not going to see tons of upgraded variations in these homes. But I have seen a number of them. You're still getting a nice big kitchen island. You're still getting, in some of these houses, a decent sized pantry. So making sure you have decent storage in some of these homes that might seem a little bit smaller is certainly going to be a plus. So yes, certainly entry level, but you are going to still get some features that are going to really afford you being able to customize it as your own once you do finally move in. So another thing with these D.R. Horton communities is that a lot of them are being built where D.R. Horton is the only builder that is within the community. So if that is going to be the case, it makes it kind of hard to negotiate things like pricing and incentives because what is being offered, what is being advertised, and what the builder says that they're changing it up for, it's pretty much going to be, it is what it is. Whereas when you get into a different community where D.R. Horton is one of maybe 3 or 4 different builders, if another builder is offering some sort of incentives or opportunities, you sometimes can get a little bit more wiggle room with your negotiations when you are building, or if you do end up wanting to choose a D.R. Horton home. Also, in these types of communities, you will end up seeing a lot of rentals pop up. These DR Horton is known for probably being the top builder where investors do get in and purchase homes. So especially when these builders have been offering low interest rates and all kinds of incentives. In fact, I know a couple of people who have bought multiple DR Horton homes in different areas of the Metroplex here, and they have just gone and turned them into rentals. But they got great incentives, they got these low interest rates. So it just really made it easy to turn these homes into rental opportunities. Even for these first time home buyers who may be getting into this house and it may be their home that they're living in for a year or two, if they got those same deals and same incentives when they bought it, it may be worth it to them to actually turn it into a rental opportunity when they do move out of state or move up to their next home. So another thing to be aware of, a lot of people are probably going to be renting in quite a few of these communities. So if you're thinking about it being your forever home, you know, with any rental, you're going to have a lot of changeover. And I know it's always hard when you have kids and all of their friends end up moving away. So that ends up being really sad. Well, if you happen to have bought when it's maybe in phase 1 or phase 2 and the builder has years to which they're going to continue to be building in there, you just might not be getting that appreciation on your home like you were hoping for, as you would probably see with some of these higher end, more expensive homes here in the metro. So if you are thinking that you're only going to get in for maybe a year or two, that investment could maybe ultimately end up losing you money depending on what those incentives are going to be offered when you do get ready to move or sell that house. And as we turn into the customer service and what are you going to get when you do actually build with DR Horton? Now, of course, because of the size of the builder, you're going to get a lot of different reviews online, and some reviews are going to mention mixed experiences, not only with customer service, but even their after service care if somebody's having to deal with warranties. And let's dive into that just a little bit more. Because yes, when there is a builder that is building almost 90,000 homes a year, there are bound to be some issues that do arise because not everything is going to go perfect. But according to the Better Business Bureau and over 507 reviews, their customer service rating was a 1.1 out of 5. And I know that a lot of times with the Better Business Bureau, it's full of complaints, so it is hard to kind of take that as all the truth that is out there anyways, especially if it's only 500 out of 90,000 reviews. But the issues that were coming up in these complaints were crumbling driveways to plumbing issues and electrical issues, floors being uneven because the quality of somebody putting them in they were just not really taking good care of it, and they did a fairly awful job. So people are very unhappy. But as a real estate agent, there are so many times when working with buyers who are wanting to buy new construction that they think that everything is brand new and it should already be in working order because the builder probably already had their inspections from the building permit people who come around and check on these homes. But a lot of the items that you do read about are the things that could probably have been discovered if somebody would have done an outside third-party inspection. I always tell my clients that I strongly recommend that they do a third-party home inspection when they pay which is where they do pay that outside inspector to come in and inspect the home for them, even on especially on their new construction homes. And it's because of stories like you read in the Better Business Bureau why you should definitely have it done. In fact, I had a client purchase a new construction home just a few weeks ago. And while the majority of the home was really great, in fact, my client was super picky. They were going around checking the grout lines and the tile work, and the builder actually did a really good job. But at the end of the third-party inspection that they had done, there were a few electrical issues, as well as an entire section of the roof on the inside of the house that never had the insulation blown inside of it. Or I don't know, maybe it fell out, or maybe the insulation wasn't able to be reached over there. I don't know, whatever happened. But in the end, the builder did come in and have to cut out a section of the drywall, blow back in the insulation, patch the drywall, texture the walls, and repaint it. So it was a bit of a hassle. And they kept saying, if this would have had to have been done, if we wouldn't have known about this and we would have been living in the home and discovered this, that could have turned into a huge mess. Or maybe by next summer when it got really hot, or maybe we have a freeze again and you're wondering why it seems to be extra cold or hot in that upstairs portion of the home, they wouldn't have even known that there was no insulation in there. So regardless of it being a new home, I always recommend that you have a third-party inspection. So never ever discount the importance of what can happen if you do make sure to get that done. So of course, with the customer service and dealing with D.R. Horton, overall, it has been fairly decent as well. I know I could be a little extra chatty. I want to make sure I ask all of our questions. But when you do ask those questions, the sales reps that we have dealt with have been really great and have always had some great follow up as well. Even dealing with the builder itself and making sure that we get our questions answered. Honestly, we haven't had horrible experiences, but I know it might not go quite as well for other people, hence some of the negative comments that you will find online. So, overall, I will say if you are looking for an affordable, reliable home that might have been built relatively quickly that you won't have to wait so long to get into, D.R. Horton is going to be a pretty decent option. But of course, be mindful that your customization is going to be very limited. And while it's not a high-end builder, we have felt like you do essentially kind of get what you pay for. Yes, a lot of the finishes are basic, but sometimes you do kind of have to understand, maybe lower your expectations and know what you're getting into when you are purchasing in that price point. So leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think of D.R. Horton, if you've had any positive or even negative experiences, because we would absolutely love to hear it, because I'm working with clients all the time and they're always having these questions. So I speak from experience and what I get from the clients and the other people and friends in the business that I work with as well. So if you have any questions at all, reach out. That's what I'm here for. I love helping people get into new construction homes and find that perfect fit here in the DFW area. So let's move on, because number 2 is pretty much just as big, and there's a lot of reasons why you may need to decide between the two when making that decision on moving here to Dallas, Texas. So let's get to it.